Welcome into Hit Sticks from the Star in Frisco with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans. The Cowboys fall 42-10 to San Francisco. There's a lot to look at this week in Madden. It was no secret the Dallas Cowboys struggled to slow down San Francisco in that Week 5 loss, and when things didn't go well, it pretty much snowballed for the rest of the game. Dallas had an opportunity, though, early in this matchup to slow down Christian McCaffrey. Rushing-wise, the numbers weren't fantastic. 19 carries, 51 yards. I think you would take that for the most part, but he wasn't just dangerous in the ground game. He was dangerous in the passing game as well, and more specifically, the screen game. This was a screen on 2nd down and 12. Dallas only down by 7 with nearly 5.5 to go in the second quarter. Instead of getting a stop on 2nd and 12, keeping San Francisco behind the chains, they instead give up 19 yards to Christian McCaffrey in this offense. The blocking scheme was there. The overall success was there for San Francisco. But Barry Church, I'll challenge you. How do you try and defend that if you're Dallas to avoid that happening in the future?
Well, it's tough because that was a heck of a play call by Kyle Shanahan, running the screen into the blitz. But what happened here as far as execution-wise defensively, there was no cut. There was no outside force player. There was no inside people coming reinforcements to try to get them down from the inside. And there was no guy at the top to try to make sure that play is contained in a cup. You didn't see that at all. It was a heck of a play call. The blockers were out in front. And when you have that situation going on, the best thing you can do as a defense is just to try to get the man on the ground. And we saw McCaffrey. He's elusive as any running back in the National Football League, made a couple people miss and had a huge gain. We don't want to see those coming next Sunday.
No, you don't. So, to try to show it on here on Madden, I'm going to try to catch you slipping just like the Cowboys got caught slipping in the game. Let's see what happens. Let's go.
No cup. There's no cup.
Here, buddy. Just like that. All right, we'll go to the replay real quick so you guys can have DCBC tell you guys exactly what took place and what should have took place.
As we see here from the jump, I mean, if we let it run a little bit here, we see the blitz coming, and it was just a perfect play call. I mean, when everybody is rushing after the quarterback like that, your antennas have got to be up defensively. Why are they letting me just get to the quarterback like that? It hasn't happened like this on any other play. Your antennas have got to be up. Something's fishy going on. And as we see Purdy dump the ball off to McCaffrey right there, there's no cup. There's no outside force. There's no inside force. There's no one at the top of the cup to contain this thing. And as you see, he has blockers in front of him. This is the worst case scenario for the Dallas Cowboys. At this point, somebody has got to just try to get him on the ground. Great tackle from Damone Clark, but a heck of a play call from Kyle Shanahan. This was one of the instances where I believe this defense got out-coached and out-schemed. Dan Quinn's going to have to go back into the lab and get this defense going in the right direction.
Even on a play like that, the realism of Madden showing George Kittle talking some smack to the Dallas Cowboys. He did plenty of that on Sunday. But let's see how the Cowboys can turn things around on Monday Night Football against the Chargers. When we come back, Justin Herbert and company have a challenge at hand. How are they going to push this Dallas defense to the next level, and how can Dallas respond?
Cowboys Hit Sticks, presented by Madden NFL 24. Is also brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys, and by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Things don't get much easier for the Dallas Cowboys going from Week 5 to Week 6. It's another trip out west as they take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Welcome back into Hit Sticks with Barry Church and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Let's take a look at what this offense presents. You've got Justin Herbert at quarterback. You've got Austin Ekeler, should he be healthy. He's anticipated to return this week. He's at running back. Then you have some wide receivers like Gerald Everett at tight end, Keenan Allen on the outside, and then the rookie out of TCU, Quentin Johnston, out there as well. There are plenty of guys. Oh, don't forget about Josh Palmer. I'll throw him over here just at the same time because there's multiple weapons for Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers to try and throw at Dan Quinn. Isaiah, based on what you've known from Kellen Moore since he was here with Dallas, now that he's in Los Angeles, he's with the Chargers, how is he going to try and challenge Dan Quinn?
He's going to challenge Dan Quinn because he's going to make him go deep into his bag in terms of personnel. These guys have receivers galore. And if you want to throw Ekeler into the mix, well, that's another receiver as well. He can catch it with the best of them. You just face a C-Mac, McCaffrey being able to catch out the backfield. Well, it doesn't get any easier this week with Ekeler. He really possesses the same abilities. So you have your hands full. These are matchup nightmares. It's not something that you can play zone against because Kellen Moore can obviously find the holes in the zone. But I'm not sure if Dallas right now has all the personnel to match up man-to-man against these guys either. So it's going to be a challenge for sure. Somebody's got to step up. And you also, sorry, Barry, you got to keep an eye on that dude Herbert as well.
Yeah, Herbert is a monster. I mean, Dan Quinn's going to have, his hands full with this matchup because Kellen Moore, like we always mention, he likes to push the ball down the field. He has one of those just expansive playbooks when it comes to offensive coordination here. So the question that Dan Quinn's going to have to answer, do I trust my defensive backs to match up against these wide receivers one-on-one? Because you can't give Herbert too much time back there. You're going to have to heat this guy up. And I'm going to tell you what DCBC thinks. I'm trusting my corners. All right? You know how I feel about
Bring him up.
I'm going to bring them up. We locking down and we locking out. We got the former defensive player of the year on one side. We got the boy wonder, Deron Bland, on the other side. We got this thing locked up, man. You know that rush is coming. They had an off week last week, but the rush is coming this week.
Keenan Allen's in the slot.
He is, and I'm a little nervous. But, we got to get to Herbert. We got to get to him.
Let's make it happen. We have two high safety. All right, let's see what you got.
Uh-oh, here we come. Here we come.
Oh! Came and got him.
Here we come.
I like it, and that's exactly what you have to do, okay? We're going to run it back, though.
You want to run it back?
I'll run it back. Yeah, I'm going to run it back.
The same sauce.
Oh, you
trust
with
my
the same
corners.
sauce?
I trust my corners out there.
Oh, okay.
Block D-Law.
Okay, what are you going to do when this happens, though?
Let's see what happens.
Hey, what are you going to do when this happens? Because what you can do is here is Ekeler, boom. Now what?
Oh.
Now what?
You see who's on him?
Now
you
what?
See who's on him? Let's get it. Oh, no. Oh,
good hit. Good hit. That's a good job. All right. I felt the pressure. So let me go ahead and run it back real quick on the replay. Obviously, you got the sack on the first one. We give you kudos for that.
Appreciate
it. Okay. But that's exactly what you have to do against Herbert, right? You have to be able to heat him up, make him uncomfortable. But I'm going to widen it out and tell you exactly from Kellen Moore's perspective how he feels about what's going on. So here, obviously, widen Ekeler out. So you have him down there in the slot. So now you have Ekeler, one of the best receiving running backs in the game against a safety. Okay, it's not a good matchup. It's not what you want to do, okay? And then obviously you have their tight end right here in the slot as well, okay? And then you have Keenan Allen. That's a dangerous man. Yes. That's really their deep threat. They got a bit. Their whole receiving core is about 6'3", 6'4" across the board, and they're massive. So this is a receiving bunch size-wise that you haven't faced to date, okay? So they're going to provide some jump ball challenges in that regard. But you like their matchups if you're Kellen Moore because obviously you're spreading things out from the line of scrimmage standpoint. You understand that you have to get the ball out of your hands quickly, okay? But also what? Now, all of a sudden, it's really easy for your offensive lineman to pick up who they need to pick up.
Yeah.
Okay, there's going to be a +1, right? I got 5 +1, so I have to acknowledge that as Herbert to get the ball out of my hands. If I don't do so, I'm going to take a sack like I did on the previous play. But even when I am able to get the ball off, you have to understand from the defensive back's perspective, you got to come up and make a hit on these contested passes as Everett right here tries to come across their face. Boom, catch it. Boom, you broke it up right there. Good job by Curse.
Yeah, you're going to have to make those type of plays. And defensively, like you just said, we're going to have to send that extra one. So as a defensive back, the ball has to come out quick. If I'm the defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm sitting on a lot of these routes, and I'm making them force me to respect the deep route. We'll see what Kellen Moore and this Chargers offense brings come Monday.
So we just talked a little bit about Austin Ekeler and what type of different wrinkle he can throw into that Kellen Moore-led offense. I want to talk a little bit more on that because Dallas, despite giving up just the 51 yards on the ground to Christian McCaffrey, allowed 170 on the ground against San Francisco. Let's talk about that and a little bit more of this Chargers offense when we come back with more Hit Sticks right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
So we've already talked about the Chargers offense and the different weapons that they bring to the table. One of those weapons is the running back, Austin Ekeler. He's not just a tailback, though, with the ball carries and the blocking ability, but he does present a receiving ability out of the backfield. He's dynamic, just like Christian McCaffrey, who, of course, had some success against Dallas last week. So, Barry Church, when you see a guy like Austin Ekeler, someone with a similar skill set, how do you really combat what he brings to the table from a defensive standpoint? Because it's never just one thing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's super similar to the guy we played against last week, Christian McCaffrey, when you talk about elusiveness and explosiveness. And there's two things that come to mind when you want to contain a guy like Ekeler. One, in the passing game, is you got to take away the space. If you give this guy too much space out there, he will make you look like a fool. He loves to run those option routes, so you got to take away the space when they split this guy out. Make sure you get hands on at the line of scrimmage. There can be no free releases. And then secondly, like I talked about in our earlier segment, you got to keep the cup on this guy. He's going to get his catches. He's going to have the ball in his hands. You just got to make sure you have it contained. You have your reinforcements coming from inside out, and you have somebody topping off that cup to make sure that that explosive gain doesn't happen. If you can limit him to maybe 5 to 8 yards per reception here and there, then I think you'll be good. It's those big 60-yard gains that really hurt defenses. So we got to keep the cup. We got to take away the space when it comes to this guy, but it's easier said than done because he's a beast.
Absolutely, and he's a little man on campus, but guess what? He packs a big punch.
This is true.
Here we go. Let's see what you have for it. You see the formation.
I see it. This is one of Kellen Moore's special.
Kellen Moore, you best believe Kellen Moore is going to be in his bag this week. All right. Boom. Oh! And that's one way to stop him. Just don't allow him to get it to it. Okay. Let's run it back, though, one time.
I like the call, though.
You like the call?
That was interesting.
Okay. So I like what you did there. Okay. Let me go ahead and make a couple of adjustments. Okay. All right. No. Ooh, I don't like that.
You don't like
I don't like that one bit. I don't like
Make
that
sure you
one
right.
bit.
Make sure you right. Because we coming after you. Oh, you had the hole.
Yeah, he put the brakes on. All right, so obviously he was running back. You did a good job. All right, I played like trash right there. But either way, we're going to take a peek at it, okay? So, boom, right here. Again, I'm coming out in a formation that makes you I'm making you declare exactly what your intentions are. So right off the bat, I know it's man-to-man. Okay, single high safety. I have my receivers out there, all 6'4", 6'5" receivers out there. They're wide. Okay, now the little man on campus. Okay, we look at the box. I have 5 guys blocking. You have 6 guys in the hole. All right, so boom, perfect. You have all the gaps covered. That's a great job. But as the ball snap, okay, boom, handoff comes to the right. You see the hole. Right off the back. Okay, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to give him that front side and really try to make you run the hoop.
Yes.
Right? We know that Dallas likes to be able to run the curves, right? Whether that's coming from the backside or coming front side. Here, I'm going to run it back just a little bit. So here, I'm going to zoom in. You see Micah Parsons on the left side, okay? So Micah Parsons is going to be trying to run the play down from behind. But you see, they just let him roam free.
Yes.
He has to still be responsible for Herbert. So if Herbert comes on the bootleg, Micah can't be uber aggressive and come down the line of scrimmage. We saw what happened against Arizona, okay? So Micah's going to have to hold his step just a little bit, and if he does, then you have that opportunity right in front of Ekeler where he can be literally out to shoot. This is what he's going to see from his perspective. That's the hole, and you have to find a way to stop that. Micah did a good job running it down from behind, but what's your game plan for this?
Yeah, you're going to have to, if Micah's not going to be able to be there each and every time, I'm going to need my defensive tackles to 2-gap right there. And I don't love that situation because it kind of forces the defensive tackle to think a little bit. Should I go A-gap? Should I go B-gap? But in this situation right here, we got Damone Clark backing out. If you're one-on-one with that guard right there, hey, you're going to have to 2-gap it right there because we understand the situation. We got an extra guy coming off the edge, but if he's not able to run Ekeler down each and every play, Odigizua, Neville Gallimore, those 3 techniques, they're going to have to 2-gap it, and that's going to be a sticky situation for the Dallas Cowboys.
And just when you see a similar back like the Cowboys saw against the 49ers, Austin Ekeler, Christian McCaffrey with San Francisco, you just got done seeing Nick Bosa. What about Joey Bosa? He's on the Chargers defensive line. So is Khalil Mack. How are each of one of those guys going to get after this Dallas offensive line, who's hopefully healthy for a second straight week, going up against the Chargers in Week 6? We'll tell you when we come back with more Hit Sticks right after this. Welcome back into Hit Sticks at the Star in Frisco with Barry Church and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans as we continue to take a look ahead at the Monday night matchup with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Cowboys got to find a way to protect Dak Prescott. They didn't do a great job of it against San Francisco in Week 5. They'll look to get a little bit of momentum back with all 5 of their starting offensive linemen up front, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are all starters for the first time since the wild card round in 2021. That should be easy to block up, right? Wrong. There's Joey Bosa. You got Khalil Mack on the opposite side, combined for 154 career sacks It's unbelievable what type of pass rush these guys can bring, and they've got playmakers at every level. So Isaiah Stanback, I put the challenge on you. How do you protect for Dak and allow for this offense to move down the field?
Well, you had some film study from last week, Kyle, and luckily you faced one Bosa.
Yep.
Now you got to face the other Bosa.
Yes, sir.
Do you even fear him most? Because Khalil Mack is coming off a 6-sack game. Not 6 sacks on a year, Barry. 6 sacks in a game.
Ridiculous.
So I am not going to allow him to be a game wrecker since he has a hot hand in the dice game right now. I am going to do my pass protection, and I'm going to send him over to the right. I'm going to make sure my line protects out that way, okay? And just to ensure that the other fella, Mr. Bosa, doesn't hurt me too bad, I'm also going to put Mr. Pollard.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and send him and pass block him as well. I want to protect myself because you don't want to focus on one side and forget about the other. So I'm going to run this Texas Coast offense.
You going to do what you got to do?
I'm going to get the ball out of my hand quickly, and I'm going to stay away from them two jokers.
Yeah, defensively, the Chargers got their hands cut out for them because I think statistically they are one of the worst defenses in the National Football League, especially against the pass. They just don't match up well against Dallas and the receivers that they have, tight ends, running backs as well. So for me, I'm not going to press for the first time ever. I'm not going to put the corners up and press. I'm trying to save my guys. Hopefully playing off and letting that rush eat on Dak Prescott. We're going to see what happens here, but I do not like my matchup in the secondary at all.
All right, let's see what happens. He came downhill quick.
He did.
Again, I'll try to keep it a realistic look because this is what we've been doing offensively, okay? You've been getting the ball out your hand quickly. You've been throwing a lot of short routes. So right here, okay, as soon as I see the off coverage, okay, I'm thinking right now I'm going to send Gallup on a go route.
Okay.
I'm going to clear out that side. Okay, I'm sending my protection to the right, so we're good.
Good.
I'm going to get the ball out right now. Boom, you see good old, who is that, Ferguson, turning his head right now. The ball has to be gone. So I'm late on getting the ball out. You want to get it in his hands, have him have an opportunity to do what? Break a tackle right here, okay? We just saw a tight end from last week. Kittle do a good job. We need Fergie to step up, make a play, spin out of this thing, and then if he was able to, Kyle, show him the way. The promised land is all the way up there. You got an opportunity to go out there and make some big plays. You have to be able to defeat one-on-one, though.
All right, Isaiah, I'm going to give you another shot, all right, because I know a 2-yard gain is not what the Cowboys want on first down going against this Chargers defense. But you know what? It gave me a little hope in that secondary that maybe they can hang with the Cowboys the Cowboys wide receivers. So let me go up here and press these boys.
Oh, you going to
on
press
the
them
outside.
up?
I got faith now. They proved it to me that they can hang with these wide receivers. So I'm pressing up on the outside. Let's see if Prescott and this offense can move the football.
All right, well, since you changing some things
you
up,
switching it up
I'm going
on
to switch it up.
me.
I'm going to
Okay.
put my hand in the ground right quick.
Let's see what you
You see
got.
B. Cooks out here in the slot. They haven't been getting him the ball, but guess what? We might change that up a little
Well,
bit.
let's see what you got.
Here we go. Ready? Boom. Oh, we got it. Gas. All brakes. Let's go.
Oh,
you got to get
that
those.
was a heck of a play, too. Heck of a play, too. You had it.
Off the ball.
You had him.
All right, so they've been doing a good job. Everybody knows that Dak Prescott likes throwing the ball to his tight ends, okay? And Ferguson, Schoonmaker, they've been getting a lot of opportunities. This is no different right here, okay? So I went ahead and put his hand in the ground. If I can get over here, boom. Right now, right off the bat, okay, he has an opportunity to do what? Get a good release, right? You would like to see him try to impede Khalil Mack by going outside. If he was to go outside of Khalil Mack, now Khalil Mack has to do what? Go inside.
Yep.
Throwing him on to help your tackle in Terrence Steele. But he chose to go inside, okay? Well, he possibly can get washed down. Now he's off his stem. Don't like that, okay? Stay outside. You have an opportunity. Right here, boom. As soon as Dak Prescott sees that defensive back on the inside, that lets you know, throw the ball up yonder, okay?
Yep.
Lead him up there to the high corner. You have an opportunity for a big play. The ball's late, and he cuts his route a little bit too short. You like to see him take the high angle, okay? This is why math's important, kids. You got to take the high angle instead of the short angle, and you would have had a big play. Good job by the defensive back, batting that thing away. You like to see that play come through in fruition in the game.
Yeah, you're talking about ball placement right there. That's another instance where if Dak puts a little bit more air under it, just a little bit more air, would allow Ferguson to run underneath it. I know the corner's coming from down low, but if you put a little bit of air, like you said, to that back pylon, I think it gives Ferg a little bit more of an opportunity to make a play out there. Overall, it's a win for the Chargers.
And when we come back here on Hit Sticks, we take a look at guys versus the game. What does Madden think the Cowboys can do in a rebound opportunity in Week 6? All right, guys, as we wrap up this week of Hit Sticks with Isaiah Stanback and Barry Church, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Let's take a look at guys versus the game. Madden picked the Cowboys last week. Of course, that didn't go their way. It was 17-17 late in the ball game. Austin Ekeler scored to put put the Chargers up 24-17. Dallas went for it on fourth down, did not get it. It set up a 31-17 score with Palmer in the end zone. The Chargers win this one this week. Isaiah, do you think the Chargers avoid a bounce back from the Cowboys?
I'm going to have to go with the Chargers.
Going with the Chargers?
I think Kellen Moore has probably created an entire playbook just for this week alone.
Okay.
Oh,
what are you thinking?
Look, I'm going to have to go with Isaiah on this one. I'm going to have to double down. I think it's
already jumping ship.
No.
Gotten to here.
Rowing our boat.
It's a
Rowing the boat.
rough two-game stretch.
Okay, here's the thing. I think Dallas, as good as anybody in the league at bouncing back.
Yeah,
They
true.
are bouncing back. 9-1, coming off of a loss since the beginning of the 2021 season. I believe they're going to be 10-1. I think the Cowboys get a rebound this week. They need it. They need to go into the bye week 4-2, big time in this week. But should be fun. Monday Night Football. Hope you'll enjoy it as much as we will. 7:15 on ESPN. For Isaiah, for Barry, I'm Kyle Yeomans. That does it for this week on Hit Sticks.
Cowboys Hit Sticks, presented by Madden NFL 24, was also brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys, and by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.